Well, on the developmental education initiative per se, we've challenged the colleges and states to think hard about how to scale up successful interventions. So we started with the idea that the colleges that were invited to participate would be those who had more experience in achieving the dream. We wanted colleges that had already built a pretty solid culture of evidence and were comfortable with looking at student outcome data and using those data to help them make decisions about ways they could improve their services and their policies and their approach to helping students succeed and complete. Those colleges had been doing a number of things, a variety of things. When you're in Achieving the Dream, you aren't asked to necessarily implement the exact same strategies as all other colleges. You're asked to do a data analysis to find out what particular problems you have in your area and your campus, where you're losing students, and figuring out why, and then trying to come up with strategies that will tackle the real issue at hand. So we thought that the developmental ed colleges would end up taking some of their strongest innovations, the ones that had the most data to suggest they were making a difference, and that they would then be trying to scale those on a level where they could get across to large numbers of students on their campus. And what we found was, while it's true our colleges did have a good solid foundation, they were ready for this work, when we suggested that they focus on one or two or at most three strategies to really double down on, they didn't see the world that way. They didn't see that being the answer. For them, it was much more a collection of strategies that were earmarked and targeted to different students of different needs. So you might have a college who'd say, well, we want to do this particular intervention with this group of our students who are needing developmental ed, but we want to do a different intervention with others. And often it was a matter of which students came perhaps more college ready. They didn't have as much remediation that they had to go through. Sometimes that was the breakdown that made a difference in whether they were going to fast-track students into the developmental experience or whether they were going to actually slow down the developmental education instruction. So I guess that was one of our big surprises, was that even though they had some successful innovations that they could scale, they still were pretty much persuaded that it was not just those one or two innovations that had been proven effective. It was a combination of strategies that had to be used and combined creatively so that you could actually make a dent in the DevEd numbers and in the success rates. They've only been at it for a year in terms of this intensive work, so we don't have data yet to suggest whether they're going to be able to move the needle significantly while they try to scale. We certainly hope that's the outcome, but we're still at the early phase of the work. Another thing that we've found out is that while a number of our colleges did indeed have things they were ready to scale, they still felt there was more for them to try. So they wanted to put some new strategies in place that other people had found to be effective, and they wanted to add that to their collection of strategies that they were using. So we've got a situation where our developmental ed laboratory colleges are probably scaling the work that they're doing on this. They're probably scaling up interventions about 60% of the time, and the other 40% of the time they're actually still trying some other new things to add to their arsenal. And so we're going to look at that and see whether or not you can scale something brand new as quickly as you can scale something that's been around for a while. I mean, intuitively you think probably not, but we're going to see what they do, because we keep emphasizing to them that what we really want them to show is whether or not you can scale quickly and to what level you can scale and how you do that.